Welcome to the Barbados Today Evening News for Tuesday, September 24. I am Marie-Claire Williams. The Sharon Primary School will remain closed and efforts are underway to relocate the students. This evening, education and health authorities met with anxious parents and guardians at the Jackson Seventh-day Adventist Church to discuss environmental issues plaguing the St. Thomas School. Health authorities linked the challenges to a small operation which involves spray painting near the school. However, parents are not quite satisfied and they voiced strong objections on how the matter has been handled.
I don't think we have any more or substantially more information than we had on Friday. And so also due to the very vague nature of some of the information that they provided, I think a lot of parents feel as though they're hiding things. And it is unfortunate, but I can almost guarantee that there's going to be a lot of conversation among the parents as to what they think next steps should be.
I don't think the ministry has said a whole lot, and so there's not much to accept. What they have told us is that they did start to do some preliminary checks and reports and so on. As to official findings, we still have to wait to see what that is about. The most important thing for the majority of the parents is that at least the class 4 and class 3 students will be able to come to school here at the Jackson Seventh-day Adventist, and we would await the official report so that the children can go to school next week or the first week in October.
First thing, it was one of the industries. They asked them to comply with some changes that they had asked them to do and they didn't. Now I'm hearing that it is some small man in the area that has a paint shop. No, and then another one is that they have paint on the property of the school. I don't know what these people really telling themselves about the people in this country.
Education Minister Santia Bradshaw told the gathering that while she understands the issues raised by the parents, the decision to close the school at this time is in the best interest of the students.
It may not settle every single parent, but I just want to give you the assurance that I have to be guided as a Minister of Education based on what the officers in the Ministry of Health indicate to me. I can't go on suspicion, I can't go on hearsay, I have to go on the report. And when I read the recommendations, they said to us, close the school for a further period to be able to remove the contaminants. When those contaminants are removed, you've eliminated one factor. If the businesses have eliminated the other factor and something else happens, then they will have to continue their investigations. But at this point, it is difficult for any of them to be able to say specifically what the cause is.
In other news, this Tuesday, the People's Party for Democracy and Development is calling on government to tighten up what they perceive to be dangerous ambiguities in the Medicinal Cannabis Industry Bill 2019. The party's spokesperson on health and wellness, Paul Gibson, was delivering the first presentation when the Joint Select Committee on Medicinal Cannabis Industry Bill continued at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center this morning. He suggested that the allowances in the bill for therapeutic facilities could be a loophole for improper dispensation of the drug.
Under the Pharmacy Act, pharmacists, druggists, pharmaceutical chemists, pharmaceutists, dispensers, remember that word, and authorized sellers of poisons. And no person shall, unless he is registered as a pharmacist, display on any premises any sign, titled, emblem, or representation that includes the description drugstore, drug dispensary, or pharmacy, or any other sign, titled, emblem, or representation that implies or from which the public may reasonably infer that those premises are registered as a pharmacy. We are saying this because we realize that there is a bit of ambiguity in the bill regarding the definition dispensing, and it is in conflict with other aspects or other areas of our laws of Barbados. Had there been consultation with the bodies, we would have been able to dissipate that concern and be able to assist you in crafting the bill.
Gibson, a trained pharmacist, demanded that the government provide clarity on the clientele to be catered for in those therapeutic rooms, as the current forms of dispensation listed in the bill do not require a special room for administration.
Under this bill, the term therapeutic facility appears. It is an ambiguous term, and we are suggesting that serious consideration be given to the elimination of the term from the medical cannabis bill. The challenge with the term therapeutic facility is in direct conflict with the Pharmacy Act, Section 31, 1 and 2, whereby dispensing can only be executed by a pharmacist according to Barbados law. Now, I mentioned tablets, liquid solutions, sublingual, and so on, and eye drops. These do not require a special room or therapeutic facility to be administered. You take your Codiavan or your diabetic medication, and you take your medical cannabis for the pathology that the doctor has prescribed it for.
Existing and potential providers supplying the national grid with energy from renewable sources now have a firm guarantee for their investment. At the same time, with new rates and increased maximum capacity to the grid, the country is expected to save some $53 million over the next decade. The Fair Trading Commission gave these assurances today as it issued its decision in the feed-in tariff for renewable energy technologies up to and including 1 megawatt, which will replace the unsatisfactory Renewable Energy Rider program introduced in 2010. Individuals or commercial entities that sign up for the FIT program will be able to provide energy from solar, land-based wind and biogas, and anaerobic digestion and solid biomass. The FTC chairman, Tammy Bryan, says all players will benefit.
This represents a major step for the renewable energy industry in Barbados, as this rate will guarantee, we believe, investors a stable rate of return for 20 years. The feed-in tariff, or FIT mechanism, will replace the Renewable Energy Rider, or commonly known as the RER program. However, existing customers will be grandfathered in. This means that those customers will maintain their existing arrangements with Barbados Light and Power for 20 years, with their system's original commission dates used as a start date. i.e., if your system was installed in 2014, your arrangements will remain the same until 2034.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Craft Center. Kick off the weekend this Friday from 4 p.m. to midnight with loads of food, drinks, and entertainment. Get ready for Crop Over with the Rhythm Roots Street Parade. Party like it's Kadooman Day on the street around Pelican Village with costume reveler, music, and more. It's Festive Friday. It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Village Center from 4 p.m. to midnight. Admission free.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
On to regional happenings, Jamaica's tourism authorities are ramping up action to cushion the expected fallout from the collapse of British tour operator Thomas Cook. We get more in this report from Television Jamaica.
Tour operator Thomas Cook's decision to enter into compulsory liquidation and cease operation with immediate effect on Sunday left hundreds of thousands of British travelers worldwide stranded. Jamaican hoteliers have had their fair share of these travelers, with Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett confirming that 311 such visitors were stranded in Jamaica. The UK government has since arranged repatriation flights for its citizens. But with weekly rotations of Thomas Cook travelers, which usually bring some 1,800 visitors to Jamaica, now in doubt, the ministry is now rushing to fix or replace these arrangements.
We're moving with great haste. In fact, tomorrow I go to London to begin that process of recovering as much of that 1,800 as possible.
Heading into the 2019-2020 tourism winter season, Mr. Bartlett says the ministry had anticipated increased visitor arrivals and stopovers. However, while remaining optimistic, he admits that this new development will create challenges for those targets.
We have 10 rotations out of the Nordics between this now October and March of next year. But we have already moved to speak to other airlines and tour operators like TUI to pick up that slack.
And on the international scene, a whirlwind reaction as the UK Supreme Court today ruled that Boris Johnson's decision to shut down Parliament in the run-up to Brexit was unlawful. But a defiant Prime Minister said he disagreed and vowed that Britain will leave the EU by October 31st, come what may.
This is a verdict that we will respect, and we respect the judicial process. I have to say I strongly disagree with what the justices have found. I don't think that it's right, but we will go ahead and, of course, Parliament will come back. I do think there's a good case for getting on with a Queen's speech anyway, and we'll do that. But I think the most important thing is we get on and deliver Brexit on October the 31st. And there's clearly the claimants in this case are determined to try to frustrate that and to stop that. I think it'd be very unfortunate if Parliament made that objective, which the people want delivered, more difficult. But we'll get on.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media 99.3 FM. I am Marie Claire Williams. Good evening.